right at it.
Hear the hunger in my voice, they used to tell me to speak up. The problem wasn't what I was saying, they couldn't keep up. Instead of moving around with some patience, they tried to speed up. It got colder than a bitter bitch, found me a way to heat up. What's a favor for a favor if we all didn't make it? Kept it 100 with everybody, but they just gon' change. I ain't get caught up in the hype, cause I ain't feel like I made it. Couldn't picture me here now, but here's your moment to frame it. And I ain't never understand that self-entitlement spirit. I felt your vibe, I don't wanna get near it. Before I made the appearance, I took a second, took a look in the mirror. This God, Lord, the only thing that I fear. Y'all got me fucked up. It's all passion, it's tradition, it ain't fashion. It's no action, they make threats and it's still passing. I think massive, no respond, that's still tact. Y'all should quit rapping. Cheap shots, I'm cinematic. I ain't average, I'm an overthrow fanatic. How I go, you lose and win like asthmatic. I got first, that's automatic. I'm the best in my division. In the ghetto like the pigeons, in the hood like the engine. You a bird for that chicken. I don't fake split decisions cause my mind made up, nigga. We in the end of time, but my time ain't up. Now when I was young and running wild and wide-eyed like a cabbage patch, I had to get it as vivid, adapted to my habitat. It's certain shit I won't do, certain shit you can't prove. My shit sound like a payday, yours like more when the rip. If I had $1 for every dime you counted, I would be broke. Watch it be close, got a better chance, boxing the goal. And they know I'm raw, and they know the squad, and I'm feeling large, still in charge. I don't make them follow, I follow the law. Standing tall like they here on Mars. I just got a call from my bro, he behind the wall, he told me let it off. Niggas lying for some cat, I got a different line in me. Everybody intimidated, I got that guy in me. You get focused on the dimes, I'd rather keep my nine with me. Help me get this off the ground, just know you won't fly with me now.
I try to make the news, I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gon' be the middle. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home the truth, I ain't never had to choose.
I'm trying to get beamed up, man, y'all trying to make the news. I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gon' pay the bill. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home of the truth, y'all ain't never had to choose. Trying to get beamed up, man, y'all trying to make the news. I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gon' pay the bill. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home of the truth, y'all ain't never had to choose. Trying to get beamed up.
Most high hand.
There you go.
We in the end of times, but my time ain't up, nigga. Tuesday night brotherhood class. What's going on? Shalom, Lord Christ. Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Barakathum to the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shamar, the thumb Bashem Yahweh Shai to the sisters. Preaching officer Natazak. We here with my brother, preaching officer. All right. Rock in Las Vegas. Get that brother a hand. Okay, I'm Las Vegas here to bring it to you. All right, so welcome back another week. All right, so let's get it in real quick. Not too much for today. You know what I mean? We already know people in the world are preparing themselves for a treacherous holiday, a holiday based on lies and deceit and getting you to glorify the destruction of God's chosen people. You know what I mean? Our Native American Hispanic brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what this is all based on. People are at the grocery store right now preparing for a feast for devils. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It ain't really too much to get up on that. We already know, you know what I mean, celebrating Thanksgiving is a sin. You know what I mean? Celebrating Thanksgiving is just disgusting. It's like shows your morality and how you see your people and how you know what I mean, feel sympathy for the lives of others. You know what I mean? So if you're willing to go out to go celebrate that day just because you want to fulfill your hunger, you want to fulfill your taste buds, it just shows what type of disgusting, lustful bastard you are. You know what I'm saying?
And the lack of integrity that you have and compassion and empathy that you have for your own people. Because let us not forget the time. It's like, not to me to cut you off.
No, you go ahead.
But you know what I'm saying? That time of Thanksgiving was a time that, you know, the so-called pilgrims, the Europeans, were coming over to the Western world and committing genocide. You understand? Right. And the way that they did it as well should never be looked over. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't do it just by the sword. And that's what they try to teach in these schools. You know what I'm saying? That that the European man had won fair and square over our so-called Native American brothers and sisters. But in reality, majority of the deaths that had happened to our Gadite brothers and sisters, or the so-called Native Americans, right? Majority of the deaths that they had during that conflict actually came from disease. You understand? Those smallpox blankets that they was giving our brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? That's actually how they won. And so for you to sit down and keep that, to keep that holiday, Thanksgiving, man, it's a real big spit in the face to our Native American brothers and sisters, man. Because you basically saying that you wanted that because it's because of that genocide is why we live in the world that we live in today. We live in this country with the standards and the laws that we do today is because of that genocide. You know what I mean?
Right.
And let us also not forget. So like it is the last thing, but the Thanksgiving came from a specific raid that the Europeans did on the Native Americans in the first place. I can't remember what the battle was actually called, but it was, the Native Americans didn't even know that the Pilgrims were coming. And not only that, but it was one of those like peaceful, non-violent Native American tribes where, like they got men, but like, they men was for hunting, you know what I'm saying? Where they wasn't really big on being a warrior, and they completely obliterated that village. Y'all can look that up. You understand? And that was where that feast came from. And then they actually, they how do you say memorialized it? Yeah, there you go. Memorialized it. And that's where you got Thanksgiving. It's from, them raiding and pillaging a village that wasn't even aggressive in the first place. Right. You know what I'm saying? So lucky.
All right, like I'm gonna add on to what you're saying. I was gonna add on to more to what you were saying as far as them memorializing that day, because a lot of people don't really know the time period of when they made the memorial of Thanksgiving is exactly what Priest and Officer was talking about. You know what I mean? Where they were killing, I think it was they were unaliving one-third to two-thirds of Native American nation, you know what I'm saying? And they what was it? It was Abraham Lincoln who actually made Thanksgiving into a popular holiday just so people can come together and get together and have a time of so-called peace or whatever. You know what I mean? Where they can be good Americans. But that day still stands today, you know what I'm saying? But the lies have been told, and it's making it seem as if it was a day of peace between Native Americans and Pilgrims, but that is completely wrong. You got something to rock?
Please, man, Salaki, you just reminded me of something, man, with Abraham Lincoln, because a lot of people try to put Abraham Lincoln on such a great pedestal, like he was some great man, right? When Abraham Lincoln's words about abolishing slavery, and let us not forget that our so-called Mexican, our Latino brothers and sisters was a part of our slavery as well here in America, is alongside with the Native Americans. You understand? It wasn't just the so-called Negroes, but Abraham Lincoln has said that if he didn't have to abolish slavery, he wouldn't have done it. Right. His entire MO was simply just to unify the United States of America. And he said that he's willing to do whatever is necessary to unify America. You understand? And you saw that exactly that's the only reason why he abolished slavery. You understand? And then like what the priest and officer was just saying about why he popularized. It's like, man, I'm terrible with words. Why he made Thanksgiving popular in the first place, man, that's all about unifying the country. But let's pay attention to who in the country was supposed to be unified, though. You understand what I'm saying? Because obviously he had no regards for the black and brown brothers and sisters in America when he was contemplating whether or not he wanted to abolish slavery or keep slavery. You understand what I'm saying? Right. He wasn't thinking about us. He was only thinking about white America. You understand? So in other words, Thanksgiving has nothing to do with you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American men and women. You understand? Right. The only part that it has to do with you, said people, is just the fact that they are celebrating your genocide. You understand? Salakia.
Nah, it's good. I ain't want to go too deep on things. I just want people to get a background, because a lot of people go to
right.
ignorant, blind, deaf, and dumb. You know what I mean? Don't want to know what past is or what things come from. They want to consider it Family Day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Really,
right.
You gotta understand, the day that you're considering Family Day, people had to watch their families be unalived in front of them. You know what I mean? So they had to suffer for you to enjoy your family. That doesn't make any sense. This is why you have to understand that Esau is the damn devil. You know what I'm saying? And he will allow you to continue to keep on memorializing his days, his destruction, his unaliving, his assaults. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna make you feel special about it, because why? You get to eat, why you get to drink, why you get to just fatten yourselves up in your in sin. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what he does. You know what I mean? He's going to satisfy your senses, your senses. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he's going to destroy you at the same time period. Like I compare that to like candy. You know what I'm saying? Like candy probably might taste good, but it's definitely killing you. You know what I'm saying? Especially this day and age candy.
Man, the sugar ain't even sugar no more, man. It's some Alzheimer's creating freaking chemical now.
Yeah, it's a whole chemical. It ain't even real no more.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? You want to get more on that, Iraq, or you want to get down to the topic?
I mean, I'm cool with transitioning over to the topic, unless you want to talk about Thanksgiving a little bit more, but I'm cool with the topic, going to the topic.
Yeah, I know Wednesday class, the wall, he gonna get into it. So you know what I mean? It ain't too much to bite down on. I really want to get on the topic because this has been a thing that has been going, like, I thought the white man being Esau was a thing that for Christians that to drive them mad. But when you take away their false idol, I see that they have been going completely deranged lately. And it's like teaching them on how delusional they are mentally when it comes to these scriptures, and showing them scripture by scripture of the truth of their delusion. It seems to make them even more like you can see that demon come out of them. You know what I mean? This topic right here, Christ not being the most high God. You know what I mean? This right here, this destroys them. This makes them crazy. This makes them so upset. And it's like, I didn't know it was that bad until, you know what I mean, the topic has just been getting brought up and brought up and brought up and brought up and brought up. And it's like they're trying their hardest to defend who their God is. Not really knowing, like, you know what I mean? All you're doing is you're not really defending your God. You're defending your position on how much you love your slave master. You're not really, it has nothing to do with Christ. It has nothing to do with God. You just want to defend your slave master. You know what I mean? For you in your mind to think that God has multiple personalities and is a schizophrenic shows how much mental issues you have, because you want God to have a mental issue as well. You want God to hear those 3 or 4 voices that you hear in your mind as well. You know what I mean? You want him to have different personalities and different aliases, the same way that you have yours. But at the end of the day, all you're doing is just entertaining a demon. That's it. You're just entertaining a demon. You're breaking one of the most important laws and not putting another God before the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? You're breaking one of the most important laws by doing that, because you're making an idol out of not Yahushua. You're not making an idol out of Yahushua. You're making an idol out of who y'all call Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? Because the two are different. If you guys actually knew who Christ was, if you guys actually knew what the mannerism of Christ and the even the physical features of Christ, you wouldn't be trying to make him your God. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Right? Did you got something?
Yeah, I was actually just writing it down just in case I forgot.
Go ahead. I was jumping ahead of myself because I ain't.
No, you too wide, man. No, you too wide. Because you always be killing them points, man. You know, I gotta give you an opportunity to breathe though. But nah, hey, you know, but what you were saying about like raising up these false gods, is, you know, it's just like what Yahushua has said, that you don't know who you serve. You understand? And of course, he proceeded to say, "For salvation is the Jews." You know what I'm saying? But man, a lot of y'all sit there and try to say, you know, y'all being Christians and whatnot, try to say that y'all serve the Most High God, y'all love God and whatnot, but then y'all want to keep, you know, all of these holidays, these paganistic holidays. You understand? You don't realize that just because you put a forefront image of what you think Christ is or who he is, or even the Most High, just because you might put up, and it could be the right image where it's actually a black man, where the Most High and Christ are black men. But the fact that you still proceed to hold and keep the ways of the heathen, you know, like Thanksgiving, it completely nullifies the fact that you know who Christ is. You understand what I'm saying? Because you made a really heavy point when you had said, you know, people, they worship the God, you know, they basically worship a God that fits their lust, right? You know, paraphrasing, that's what you had said, right? You know, that's literally where the Greeks and the Romans and all of those, how do you say, what is it called when they believe in multiple gods? Polytheistic?
Monotheism?
No, mono is one God.
Mono is one, and then
poly is multiple. But what is the word though? Poly what?
Polytheism?
Polytheism, the water, right? So for those religions that follow into polytheism, the poly religions, Salagia, you understand? They have multiple gods for a reason. And then, of course, they have them battling each other. And what is it that they're battling? It's some sort of morality. You understand? That's why you have Zeus. People will sit there and follow Zeus, right? But why? Because he's over there having sex with everybody's wife. He's having sex with men. He's having sex with animals. I actually want to say he had sex with one of his brothers, let alone his sisters. You understand? So there's incest. Just think about how many disgusting sexual we can say sins that he's offending according to our law, according to the Israelite law. You understand? For those that want to be in the world as a heathen, that, you know, has those sexual deviances in them, naturally they're gonna follow after Zeus. You understand? These are people who don't want to, those that follow after these types of religions, they don't want real structure in their lives. They just want to say, you know what, I look up to this entity, and because this entity does it, it's okay for me to do it. So that's why I'm following after this entity. You understand? And that's also one of the biggest separations between the ISUPK and everybody else. You understand? Nobody in the ISUPK was like, oh man, I have to stop eating pork. Well, I guess that's where I need to go. You understand? There's all these things that we had to shave off of ourselves before, you know, we could actually be fully accepted into the ISUPK. But yet, you understand, that wasn't the reason why we joined. You understand what I'm saying? Versus where everybody else, you know, while they're doing little window shopping to decide on what God deserves, they're looking at, you know what, but they let me do this. The Muslims let me beat my wife. You understand? The African booty scratchers, man, they have all sorts of homosexuality. That's why, you know, you understand what I'm not going to go into that. But you get what I'm saying, though? Salakia. No, take that in the other room. Salakia. So, you know, that's the biggest thing at the end of the day. You can use the doggone excuse, oh, well, Thanksgiving is what brings the family together. But why do you have to rely on, you know, religion or the government, or, you understand, you have to rely on something else to tell you that you should be around your family, that you should sit down and have a nice meal with your whole family from time to time. Why do you have to wait for somebody to tell you to do that? You understand? Because I mean, hell, in the ISUP, not desire. How many times do you kick it with the brothers throughout the week, man? Whether y'all going to go, y'all might go out, go get some drinks, y'all just go, might just pull up at Applebee's and go, go eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, how often do y'all do that in Southern Cal?
I would say about 2 to 3 times a week.
You know what I'm saying? But you didn't need nobody to. In fact, you didn't need the Bible to tell you, hey, this is how many times that you should see each other this week. This is what you should be. You know what I'm saying? We don't even need that. That comes naturally because the Bible, the Most High, teaches us to have brotherhood in the first place. And so by default, we have love for our brother. We want to see our brother. We want to spend time with our families. You understand? We're not waiting to be told to be with our family. Y'all get what I'm saying? Salagi.
No, I mean, that's the true fact too, because it's like with how much people depend on what our oppressors need to give them, you know what I mean? That's how you can see they can't think logically. Like logic is torn away from you when it comes to you and your dependence of our oppressor. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
He can sit there and tell you that Christ is God. Christ will sit there and tell you that he's the Son of God. So how can you be the Son and be the entity? You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes absolutely no sense at all. It's like if that's the case, why wouldn't Christ just say that he's God? Christ has not said in the Bible that he was God. Not once. He's always said to himself that he's the Son of God. And not to, go off the topic, but this is how Christians think, or people who depend on their slave master think. You know what I mean? They think that, oh yeah, well, God, this is just a portion of God. This is just a side of God. It's still God, but it's just a side of God. You know what I mean? Like, the side of this of a person can think themselves as the son of that person. That's like, okay, this is my son. This is my left hand. This is my son. It makes no sense. It's delusion. But they're trying to, in their minds, it's, oh, Christ, God is an entity, and this is just another form of himself, and he calls himself the Son. Why wouldn't he just call himself himself and just be the human version of it? Would you have something right?
Yes, Salagi, if I may, why was he even referred to as Son of Man in the first place, though?
Son of Man.
He was, he is Son of God, and that's what he was teaching everybody, that he is a Son of God, just like we all, sons of the Most High God as Israelites. You understand? But he's also referred to as the Son of Man. So are you trying to tell me that the Most High God also is, not only is he God, but he's also the Son of Man? I don't understand how you could be a God, the highest entity, known, that created creation, but yet you also the son of the creation. Can anybody make sense of that? For me, Salaki.
I really, every time they explained it, I've never understood how you can see, how can you be the son and also be the father? And like, you'll ask them a question like, okay, who spoke in the heavens and opened up the clouds when Christ was baptized by John the Baptist? You're like, oh, the Father did. Okay, so is it Christ the Father, or is he the Son? Oh, he's the Son. Okay, your stupidity is rubbing off on me, because I'm getting irritated off of your I don't want your dumb answers. I'm getting irritated off of your dumb answers, because it's like, there's nothing you can do logically to explain what you mean by Christ being the Son and Christ being the Father as well. There's nothing you can do to explain it. You know what I mean? What is it? Christians, the Geno Jennings, and you know what I mean? A lot of people think that Christ is a form of God. He's the God in the flesh. But that's not what he titled himself. He didn't title himself God in the flesh. He titled himself the Son of God. You know what I'm saying? Titled himself the Son of God. And the first thing that they can do is go to the precept, me and my Father are one. That's not saying that you are that person. You saying that my Father are one, he's literally speaking of two different people as he's speaking. Me and my Father.
Right.
He didn't say me and the Father are one. He said me and my Father are one. It's just common sense. And I like, even when I was in the world, I had an issue with these teachings. Like, I'm not like, some about that just don't make sense. But when you're so indoctrinated, you just kind of black out common sense. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of, okay, you take it as face value. But now, just like now that we in the spirit and out the world, now you just see how dumb we looked by just ignoring that simple fact of logical sense. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh, no. No, I ain't got nothing yet.
But comparing it to what is it? Just saying that it's two different things, like it's two different beings. Like even in the how can I say, the visual description of the fourth dimension, where God sits on his throne in the heavens with the angels and with the elders. You know what I mean? Like even in that visual that you read in Revelations, I think it's, what is it? Revelations 4 and 2. You know what I mean? You get the visual of the throne that God sits on. But there's two different thrones. There's God's throne, and then there's Christ who sits on the right hand of God. So in that description of God sitting on the throne and Christ sitting on the right hand, how can these two beings be the same? How can these two things be the same? It doesn't make any sense. So God is sitting on both thrones. Well, Christ, you're saying that Christ is sitting on both thrones and he's sitting next to himself. That doesn't make any sense. But like I said, being indoctrinated and listening to our oppressors is what really destroys our people. You know what I'm saying? They can tell us anything. They have told us anything. They sit over here, like we just got done looking at how they can feed us nonsense off of the elections that they just had. They'll tell us anything and we'll just eat it right up. You know what I mean? Regardless if it's good for us, regardless if it's bad for us, regardless if it's, you know what I mean, whatever. We'll take whatever they have to say and we'll take it as face value. You know what I mean? You can bring up the gorilla and Megan Thee Stallion and we'll still, you know what I mean, you'll still get my vote. And we're talking about, even when we're talking about a situation about politics, you'll bring up Megan Thee Stallion and Glorilla and you'll still have my vote. This is how they see us. They'll feed us nonsense and we'll eat it right up, because that indoctrination that we've been dealing with since the time of slavery, we will believe anything our slave master has to say. I just watched Django, and watching that role that Samuel L. Jackson played was just that's the church. That's the church. That's all people in the world today. You know what I mean? We willing to do whatever it takes, regardless if it's best for us or not best for our people. We're willing to do whatever it takes to defend our slave master. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
Did you have something? Or
No, I didn't.
All right, so I'm gonna read 1 Corinthians 8 and 6. I got it right here. And it says, the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 6, it says, but to us there is but one God. This is what 1 Corinthians is saying. There's only one God. There's not one God with separate personalities, with different you know what I mean, ways of himself, whatever that Trinity thing is, and that's not even mentioned in the Bible. All these different things, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's only one God. There's one power that is the Most High, right? The Father. This is who God is. He is the Father. It didn't say Christ. It says that God is the Father, and of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord Jesus Christ, by whom are all things, and we by him. So this is the thing. There's one Father, God, and one of his creations, which is Christ, his firstborn son. You know what I mean? And then through Christ and through God's power through Christ is how everything was made. Even we were made. This is what this precept is speaking about. You know what I'm saying? So through Christ we were made. Through all things was made through Christ, but God made Christ first. There was a one Father. You know what I mean? So you can't sit there and try to make it seem as if, oh yeah, well, Christ is the one who made himself. No. Christ was created, right? If Christ was created, you have a creator. His creator is his Father. And through him and through his Father's power, Christ was able to make all things. You know what I mean? Then we get into the creation story, which is Christ and the angels, you know what I mean, forming the earth, the heavens and the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what Christ and the angels are creating. That's how he made all things. That's where you get First Colossians chapter 1 and I think it's verse 9. You know what I'm saying? Speaking about the things that Christ created. Christ created earth, yes, but through the order of his Father. Otherwise, it would have just said there is one God, which is Christ, who made everything, even himself. That's not what First Corinthians just said. You know what I mean? It's one God, which is the Father, and then it's Christ. Through us was made, right? So God gave Christ the order to create all things, and so much so that it pleased the Lord of all the things that Christ made, that he gave him a shot to experience it. And this is where you get Adam. And this is where you get, you know what I mean, the actual true beginning story of man, of creations, and that is the true Genesis. You know what I'm saying? It's not what your Christian pastor told you, where Christ just came out of nowhere and just by himself just made everything, and you know what I mean, and it was one human being on earth, and you know what I mean, like that's indoctrination. Those are things that are not mentioned within the Bible. You know what I mean? And there's no precepts that can back up anything that indoctrination teaches. Okay,
Right.
So get into it. I want to get that precept. You got something, right? Because I'm going to find that precept where it says that, you know what I mean, it pleased the Lord of the things that Christ made.
Oh yeah, I mean, man, at some point, I did want to bring this out. So since you, you got to look for something, I'll go ahead and bring this out now. Then let me pull up this message, man, because like to this whole point, it's wild how far away that we are literally walking away from what is written down. You understand? This text, this Bible is written on paper, but yet people are have this magical ability to like add on to what is already written, even though that the scriptures tell us not to add on. Okay, good. She didn't delete me yet, so I get to talk about it. Okay. Man, because see, now to what he was just saying, right, with just how people, creating their own doctrine. Stop. Go. So I can. With how people are creating their own doctrines and whatnot, right? And thus come all these little stupid holidays and this, that, and the other, man. There's this broad that I was, trying to talk to, see where her head was at and everything. And of course, like she brought up religion and whatnot. So, okay, let's talk about this, right? And this woman really had the audacity to start talking about how God is both male and female. So off of that concept, you understand, I can kind of understand why, and mind you, I really emphasize the word kinda. I kind of understand why they think that Adam was the only person that was on the face of the earth, and then the Most High removed the rib, and then that's how we started multiplying from there, right? Which is just absolutely I can't fully wrap my mind around that concept, but I can kind of see a little bit. But once you actually read the script, you know what I'm saying? Like, it throws all that out the window. You get what I mean? And my point with this is after this conversation with this woman, like, it really sunk in that, y'all might sit here and pick and choose, because apparently she goes to church on Saturdays for the Sabbath. Apparently her church, they keep the Passover, they keep some of the high holy days. Like, okay, that's interesting, but how the hell did you go from, what was it? It's in Exodus, is it Exodus 15:4 or Exodus 5:4? It's somewhere around there where Moses, it's Exodus 15:3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. Moses made it clear as day what the gender, the sex. There is no question what the Most High is, that he is a man. You understand? But like I was saying, this is proof that the Christians don't really read the Bible. You understand? Some way, I don't even know how they discovered the word Passover or even know what the hell Passover is. I'd be very surprised if they actually knew what it was about. You understand? Because they don't read. You understand? They hear something from someone else, and it's almost as if they just kind of collect all the nonsense and then start nitpicking what they want and say, hey, here you go. This is what we believe in. This is all the nonsense that I was able to make sense for myself. Here you go. Because to go back on what you were saying in the first place, right, about how it was just Adam, how they try to basically say it was just Adam, right, and then Eve, and then everybody else. So are you trying to tell me that there was an Adam whale, there was an Adam chicken? Well, technically, you can only have one bird, right? So you only have one Adam bird, you only have one Adam fish, you only have one Adam dog, and et cetera, et cetera. There's everything only started from one, or is humans the only exception? And I need y'all to really think about that, what I just, the question I just posed, because the Most High did the same thing with all of us living creatures is what I mean. And what do I mean by that? No. You're already going the wrong way. It's all right, though. But what I mean by that is that everything initially, when it was first put onto the earth, like, for example, all of the seed-bearing plants, you understand? All of that was planted at once in a large amount. Then, of course, you started getting the fowls of the air, you understand, the beasts of the land, and the fish of the sea. You think it's not just one little fishy, one little doggy, and one little birdie. No, there was an abundance of everything and of diverse species as well. Like, where in the Bible does it say that a chicken evolved, or in my opinion, it would be devolved from a goddamn Tyrannosaurus Rex? You understand what I'm saying? Where do you get that path from in the first doggone place? It doesn't even make freaking sense. It makes absolutely no sense. But you understand? So you get a Tyrannosaurus, or like you get a chicken, and then we also got peacocks. You think that peacocks and chickens came from the same? Like, that don't make sense. No, the Most High made buku peacocks and buku chickens, and it's always been like that. It's always been just like that. You understand what I'm saying? And so it's the same exact thing with people. All right. There's been buku people of all races. You understand? Since the beginning. And it was a boom abundance of life that was just thrown onto the earth. You understand what I'm saying? And your proof is when you just stay in the same book of Genesis. You understand? Because when when Adam's sons, Cain and Abel, had they issue amongst themselves, and Cain killed Abel, where did Cain go? He went to a city that was already built. Well, they was built from the damn prehistoric dinosaurs who magically knew how to build things. Like, it was the Flintstones. Like, come on, man. Like, sometimes people need to really step away from the Bible and realize that they a dumbass and come to the damn priests and prophets in the Isupk and actually get learned. So, like you.
That's right.
So like, I didn't mean to be long-winded with that one.
Fine, I'm over here trying to find the image. I found that precept I was looking for as well too. So
yeah, I'll read it for you. You want me to read it for you?
Yeah, you can. It's the book of Colossians, chapter 1 and verse 15.
Colossians 1 and what?
1 and 15.
1 and 15. All right. God damn. What am I? You said Colossians 1 and 15. There we go. All right, I'll read it. Is that me or you? Oh, it's my dog on. Salaki. Let me turn my sound on. Salaki. This is the book of Colossians, chapter 1 and verse. You said 15?
15.
All right. The book of Colossians, chapter 1, verse 15. Who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature?
That's Christ, the firstborn of every creature. I mean, he wasn't just existing like how the Most High is. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the firstborn. Go ahead.
Verse 16. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him.
And this is where you get the confusion from Christians, where they think that because it says everything was created by him and for him, they think that he created the Father as well. You know what I mean? Or he created himself. He had to be the Father because he created all things, but not knowing that God is the Most High is not a thing. You know what I mean? The Most High just is. Go ahead.
Right. All right. Do you want me to keep reading? Salaki.
Yeah.
Oh, Salaki, my bad. I didn't hear you. Verse 17. And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. Verse 18. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have the preeminence. For it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell.
There it is right there. So
Yep.
it pleased the Father that through him all things dwell. So through Christ, all things were created. You know what I mean? Because it pleased the Father. Not because Christ is the Father. It's because it pleased the Father that he did so. It pleased him because the Father gave the order. The Most High God gave the order to Christ to create all these things, the invisible and the visible, the things that exist that are invisible and the things that exist that are visible. You know what I mean? He's the firstborn of the creations. This is all in this precept. You know what I'm saying? And it's explaining exactly who and what Christ is. He's the firstborn of God's creations. And through him, all things were made. That doesn't mean that he made the Father. You know what I mean? Through God's power, he was able to make all things. And then it pleased the Father that he made those things. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so that he was able to experience them. And that's where you get the first man, Adam. Bam. So
right.
You got something on that, Rock?
Nah, man.
So I'm gonna go to what's John 20 and 17.
John 20 and 17. Let me get there with you.
17.
'20 and 17. I got it for you if you want me to read it out.
Yeah, that's the one.
This is the book of John, chapter 20 and verse 17. Yahushua saith unto her, touch me not, for I am not yet. That's like, want me to stop right there?
No, you can keep going.
Oh, my bad. Touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father.
To my what?
But go to my brethren. But go to my brethren
he
and
said,
say unto them.
he said, I'm not ascended to my Father. You know what I mean? He's going to the destination of where his Father is. He did not say, I'm not ascended into my Father. He said, I have not ascended to my Father. He's going to his Father. He's not ascending into his Father, because a lot of you guys try to make it seem like, okay, after Christ, you know what I mean, passed on and resurrected and he became the Father again. Okay, so why didn't he mention that he was going to be the Father at that time period? Why did he say that he's going to his Father and not becoming into his Father?
Hand me my headphones.
You know what I mean? It's all common sense. Go ahead.
Slaggy. But go to my brethren and say unto them, I ascend unto my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God.
So you, by that scripture alone, you saying that Christ is God, you're saying that he has a God above him. You're saying that he has a Father above him and he has a God above him. So you're saying that God has a God. You know what I mean? But God is the Almighty God. There is no one above him. You know what I mean? Christ is telling you his order, his seat. You know what I mean? Why do you think in 1 Corinthians, what is it? 1 Corinthians, I think it's 11:3, where Christ is explaining the order of the household. It's the Most High God first, then Christ, then man, then the woman. That is a structural order. It's not just one seat. It's Christ and then the man and then the woman. It's God, Christ, man, woman. So this is the delusion you have to get rid of, that delusion in your brain, making it seem as if Christ and God are both the same entity. Christ has never called himself the Most High God. Him saying that me and my Father are one is not saying that they are the same being. Me and my Son are one. Why? Because he talks what I taught him. He walks what I taught him. He does the things that I've structured him to do, and he doesn't do the things that I told him not to do. That's the reason why me and my Son are one. Are one. You know what I mean?
So I got a question to that, right? I got a question to that. So if Yahushua and the Most High are one, just because of the fact that he says that the two are one, right? Does that mean that Adam and Eve, those two are one, because like as if they some sort of anglerfish where they mold into each other just because they married now? Right. I mean, did that happen to I mean, are you married?
Con.
If you don't mind my hand, okay. Have you ever been married?
Con.
Oh, you said con. So like I thought you said nah. My bad, man. My damn speaker ain't that well. So when you got married to your rib or ribs, did she like melt into you or anything like that? Like is she, you know what I'm saying? Is her brain sitting right next to your brain and inside your noggin, and her heart is right next to your heart, and her set of like, you know what I'm saying? Is that what's going on? Because I mean, you, according to the scripture, y'all are one, right?
Right.
The two fleshes have joined to become one, right? And we're talking about the flesh, right? So why are things different when we talk about Christ? When Christ has made it known that he is flesh and blood just like us. Because what does the scripture say? Salaki, I'm going to just paraphrase it. But it said it behooved him to be like his brethren, right? So where's this mix up where, you know, all of a sudden he's God because he says he is one, but yet all of us, that doesn't apply to us? That doesn't apply when I become one with my women? I don't understand. You know, I don't see this mix up that's going on. Salaki.
Right. Nah. You're speaking from a common sense point of view, like, and it's like you would think I could explain it one time. Christ not ever saying that he's God. Christ saying that he is ascended to his Father. Christ saying that he has a God. You think you have to explain it just once, but it's kind of like what you just did. You have to kick it into the skulls, into the brains, to the minds of who've been indoctrinated. And it's irritating, but at the end of the day, it's necessary because it shows you how strong that delusion is when it comes to the teachings, the indoctrination of our oppressors. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I got to say about it too. You know what I mean? Because that goes right on topic of what I was wanting to talk about. It's not okay. If it was the actual true image of Christ, then people wouldn't even want him to be God. If we're talking about brawly, dark-skinned black man with woolly hair, you know what I mean, and a stern face, they wouldn't even want him to be God. He wouldn't even be known as God. You know why people so want Christ to be God so bad? Is because this is who they think Christ is. This is who they think Christ is. You know what I mean? And that image right there, that's why they want Christ to be God so bad, because really they want their oppressors to be their God. You know what I mean? If Christ was in the image of what he truly looks like and what he truly was when he was on earth, Christians wouldn't be fighting so hard to make him the God of everything. They'd be trying to find a new God. They'll be trying to make Zeus or, you know what I mean, Poseidon, they'll be trying to make somebody else God. But because this image exists right here is why they want Christ to be God so bad. Going to this image.
And I'm sorry, if I may, real quick, while you looking for what you're looking for, man. What's crazy is y'all y'all are wanting to follow after an alternative lifestyle person. Because you can't tell me that you look at that white Jesus and you think, yeah, this is the nigga who was flipping tables and whipping the priests out the temple because they wasn't following the law. You don't look at white Jesus and think that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You look at white Jesus, and at least when I see that image, that's what goes through my mind is that kumbaya. You know what I'm saying? Everybody love everybody. That is embedded in my brain, and that's why I hate that image. You know what I'm saying? I hate that image because, like, I do not think that I am equal to any other race. Salaki. And if we're being real, in reality, there is no such thing as man being created equal to one another. Find that in the scripture for me, Baba Kajah. Right. Because if that was the case, then we wouldn't have a ranking system. There wouldn't be a need for the Most High to tell us to do everything in decency and in order. Because if we are all created equal, well, guess what? Where is the order? We're all left and right to each other. There is no pecking line. There is no pecking order. You have to have a vertical line of people with an order, a 1, 2, 3 order, versus having a horizontal line where everybody is one. Because then, how the hell do you serve the first person if the first person is everybody? How do you follow somebody's example if they to the left or to the right of you? You don't even know what the first step is. You get what I'm saying? That's the problem with this whole equality thing. That's the whole problem with thinking that we are all the same, that we are all on one accord. You know, or not one accord, but we are all, we all on the same team. We'll leave it with that. You know what I'm saying? When the Most High has talked about, how he feels about all of the different nations individually, where hell, we'll just stick to the two main characters. Whereas Israel, the Most High says that he has chosen us. He loves us above everybody else. He wants us to be above everybody on the earth because that's how he views and loves us, right? But then on the other side of the totem pole, of the main characters, he says that Esau, for I have hated Esau, as it was written. So, like, that's not word for word, that's paraphrasing it. But you know what I'm saying? Esau I hated. You understand? He hates a nation of people, and there's a nation of people that he loves. And of course, everybody else is in between that. So that gives you a very good idea of how he feels about all the other nations outside of Jacob and Esau. That he kind of, you know, you all right. I'll keep you around. You ain't as bad as Esau, but you know what I'm saying? You all right, I guess. You get what I'm saying? The Most High is not limited to just one emotion of loving everybody. You understand? And to even think that our king would be on the same thing, man, not only is that blasphemous, but that's just, I can't say that word. That's just alternative. Like, that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and I'm trying to monitor my damn team, man. I know sometimes I slip up.
After Trump get in office, we ain't gonna have to do that no more. He said freedom of speech. I'm gonna use that.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
I'm gonna use that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start using it now. I'm just gonna. They start striking. I'm gonna debate them strikes. You good?
No, yeah, that's all I had though, Oxalak. If you wanted to get back to your images, Slack.
Yeah. But if this image right here, if you can see to the far right, if people assume if Christ looked anything like that, they wouldn't be trying to make him God. They wouldn't try to make him the Most High. They would completely do away with him. They would try to find somebody else to worship. They wouldn't even make him the Messiah. They would try to make him something else. But because
actually, if I make one more, it's like, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah, I was just gonna put back this image real quick and just show because if you think that Christ looks like this LGBTQ member right here, that's the reason why you want him to be your God, because you serve Esau. God, Esau is your God. The what is it? The confusion community, that's your God. I can't wait to call him what it is. Boy, everybody Trump need to hurry up. I start calling him what it is again. I'm about to be so bogus. I can't wait to start calling him what it is.
You hear me?
But confusion community for the time period, for the next couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? For the next couple of weeks, the confusion community, that's what you want to be your God. You want your God to be soft and a loving to everybody, and you know what I mean, and to everything, like a hippie. Like that dude, he looks like a hippie. He looks like a hippie. Like you want hippie. You want to just hey bro, hey, love conquers all. That's what you want.
Like he's got 5 tabs of acid and some ecstasy in his pocket.
Is that IUIC down there? In that same?
Is that what?
That look like the IUIC picture. It's like it.
Oh snap! Him it.
That's crazy.
Boy, that is crazy.
You want a love conquers all type of guy. You want a guy that just accepts you for whatever way you is. You don't want a guy that actually goes up in there and start, you know what I mean, whoops ass for his father with an actual whip. You don't want that type of Christ. You know what I mean? You want a soft and loving, and you know what I mean, get his ass whooped and not want to no retaliation. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of Christ you want. But you good. Like that's all I have.
No, yeah, I just wanted to add on, man. Could you pull up that picture of Officer Barack again, Baba Kashab? Oh, yeah. You put that one back up, because man, what's real heavy about that photo, man, and something that you had said as well, right? Because you said that the reason why people look to that white Jesus is because that's the type of God that they want, right? that's they want to follow after their oppressor. But when you take everybody's God in a nutshell and you look at the people who rose up that God, right? Don't you see that? I mean, hell. Now this isn't. This is a fairly accurate depiction of what Christ looks like, and you can see in that photo he looks like that brother. Barack looks like that brother. So in other words, every nation of people has a God that looks like themselves, except the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You understand what I'm saying? And what's even worse, and how you know that this Bible belongs to us, we're not allowed to change our own Bible to the correct text, to where it, because it says in Revelation 1:13, that starts to give you this description of Christ looking like this. You understand what I'm saying? We're not even allowed to make that a correct adjustment without catching flack. You understand? When ultimately What's wrong with us having our own God? What is wrong with it? You understand what I'm saying? Everybody else has their own God. Hell, the culture vultures stole our God and then just made them look like them. But we're wrong for wanting our own God and also following after him and letting everybody know that, hey, this is what our God looks like. You understand what I'm saying? To the point that you made earlier, our people are literally choosing to serve after another nation's God over our own. It starts with even just the image, and that makes it extremely simple for us to see just how destroyed that we are as a people, because we are choosing we are preferring another nation. We have the preference of looking up to some stringy hair, white blue-eyed man and putting him as the head of our household, instead of just looking at who the hell the head of the household is in your household right now. You can look at your daddy, or if you're a man and you're the man, look at yourself, man. You got to clean up in the morning anyways before you get in the shower. You know what I'm saying? Look at yourself. You are the head of the household, and quite frankly, you as a black man, as a Native American man, and a Latino man, our God looks like you, man. You understand? He looks like us. All right. He ain't no feminine, where you look at him, he's just like, man, you look like you march at one of them pride parades. You know what I'm saying? That's what white Jesus looked like to me. Caesar Borgia. That's what he looked like to me. He looked like he look at a table like, flip this. Man, he gonna break a nail. He too worried about that. You understand? But look at this black guy, this black man right here. And matter of fact, both the brothers look like, man, they chased somebody out of some goddamn church that wasn't holding church right with a damn whip to their damn backs, flipping tables. You understand? Right. They fit that description in itself. And I'm lucky. You can't tell me that Barack ain't gonna, go off on somebody if you give him a reason to. You understand? Big shout out to Officer Barack, man, out there. He's in DC, right? Out there in DC under Captain Mashak. Big shout out to him. But you know what I'm saying? He looks like his God. And there is nothing in our people need to come back to looking at ourselves in the mirror and loving that image. You understand? Because quite frankly, that image that you see in the mirror is that man as well. Yahushua Mashiach, or as the world ignorantly knows him as in English, is Jesus Christ. So that's all I had.
That's all right, man. That's it, y'all. Tuesday night brotherhood class, you know what I mean? Don't get lost in the indoctrination. The indoctrination has been destroying our people. You know what I'm saying? It has been destroying our people. Getting these scriptures. Love yourself. Love yourself. Love the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Follow along. But that's all we got tonight. You know what I mean? Brother Oracle, good hand. SoCal. Shalom, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Barak thumb to the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh, Shamal, and the thumb by Hashem, Yahushua to the sisters. The water for y'all tuning in. The water for y'all in the chat. And appreciate y'all. Lord Christ.